Hey everybody, good Monday afternoon. It's 12:27. Right now I had to get up and go down to Conyers this morning. I hardly ever go out that way anymore and do some running around out there, and kind of got back home and ate me a banana and drank me a little protein shake. About to head out to Home Depot to get a few things to work on the Key Road house this week, but I noticed I didn't watch the Grammys last night, but I've just noticed some of the reports coming across and clips about the Grammys or whatever. And well, should it shock anybody that artists use their voices, that artists, creators at their soul, feel the need to speak out during these times? The very essence of being an artist is a person who's very, very creative and outspoken, per se. Outspoken with your art, with your preaching, with your writing, with your singing, with your dancing. Just the very nature of an artist is almost like the God energy about somebody. You want to see God in somebody? Look at somebody sitting at an easel, creating. Read something that's powerful that makes you sit and scratch your head. So anyhow, no surprise that a lot of people were speaking out against ICE and the things that's going on in the country. And let's just go ahead and do the morning post. January seemed like such a fast, odd, strange month to me. Actually, that energy of oddness was over Christmas. It was over Thanksgiving, over New Year's, at the end of the year, the beginning of this year. It's almost like the country has this kind of wet, dirty diaper that just kind of hangs over it. And then under that wet, dirty diaper, which is MAGA and Trump, is all of us have our other intangibles of life to kind of keep our bills paid, to keep our house warm, to deal with our health issues, on top of dealing with this kind of energy that's all around us. We can pretend it's not there, but I've just reached a point in life I'd rather be straightforward and just call a spade and just live in reality than to go ahead and act like I'm in some kind of different dimension or universe than what's really the reality of going on. And I know some people do that for their own sanity and to get by. God bless you if you're able to do it. I wish sometimes I was able to do it. But January seemed like such a it just went by fast, odd month. It seems that the capture of Maduro of Venezuela was years ago. It was only a few weeks ago, a few days ago. The government murders of Good and Pretty and others will be left behind us in January as February moves in. As February comes in, a whole new set of chaos daily will show itself with news events constantly. Even Donald Trump's today posting about, he's going to sue Trevor Noah of the Grammy. He's outraged that they made a joke or something about him. Good Lord. When would that man ever be called out of here and go home and let the world have some decency and some peace? That's just in case the Lord's up there listening. And most of the chaos and news of this time will just suck us in, and we'll just scratch our head and it's like, my God, my God, my God, why have thou forsaken America in the days ahead? The 2-year closing that was announced yesterday of the Kennedy Center, to me, is a good thing. I'd rather see it close than to see the charade of Trump putting his name up there beside President John F. Kennedy. Could y'all imagine if Obama had tried to pull something like that? Good Lord. Do y'all remember the people of Fox News went into a national crisis because President Obama wore a tan suit at a news briefing one time? Things are weird, ain't they? It's common knowledge that all of the shows at the Kennedy Center, well, about 90% of all the shows and entertainers that were coming canceled their events there. Just leaving the Kennedy Center sitting empty for the next couple of years with the word Trump stuck on the front of it. No one of any decency wants to be associated with the Trump family. Who would do that? Of course, artists are going to cancel their shows. Artists are going to speak out. Artists are not going to want no part of it. What will February hold for us? What world events will happen? We're living in fast times, fast-moving times. What will come our way personally? Aside from all this, y'all, we have all these intangibles of dealing with life, of keeping our bills paid, of coming up with money, of dealing with our health, with dealing with family issues, with dealing with, and then on top of that, we've got that dirty, wet blanket that just hangs over us as a country. That dirty, wet blanket is known as MAGA. As an observer of life, and even more so in this season of my life, I think I have concluded that about 90% of all happiness in our lives mainly depends on who we have chose to share our life with, to surround ourselves with. People can make us happy, or people can actually make us kind of miserable. I had a few relationships before Ava and I got together some 16 years ago. Some of them interesting, some of them fun, some of them good, but chaotic at times. Have y'all ever had a chaotic relationship where you think, I love this person, but goddamn, who are they sometimes? They're weird. But I love them. Yeah, they got a little cocaine problem, but bless their hearts, they sure are sexy doing that cocaine. Yeah. Chaotic relationships can be fun, like burning the candle at both ends, but they can also rob you of happiness. I've come to realize that happiness and peace often just kind of walk hand in hand. They kind of ride shotgun with each other. Relationships are simple, actually. If someone is good to you, that is it in a nutshell. There is no great mystery to that. I tell young folks thinking about getting married, I'm like, they said, what should I really look for? It's just make sure they're good to you. You just cross off everything else. Are they good to you? If they're good to you, in the long run, that'll speak volumes. It'll make you love them more and more as the years go by. I'm sure the people of Costa Rica and are down in Chile spend very little time thinking about America or the crazy Trump stuff that goes on daily up here. One time after spending some time in Chile, the Super Bowl had happened the day before I was to leave. I tried to find it anywhere I could to watch it. In the hotel, at a bar. I couldn't find out who had even won the Super Bowl down there. Finally, at the airport the next day, I walked over to an American and asked him, do you know who won the Super Bowl? He told me, and then he said, these people down here don't give a shit about the Super Bowl, do they? I said, they sure don't. I couldn't even find out who won. He told me, he's like, yeah, it's a different, the people down there, we're hung up on this Trump stuff up here. You leave the country and get over in Thailand and down in Costa Rica or down in Brazil. They don't care about Trump. They don't care about America. We're just wrapped up in our own whirlwind. We in a whirlwind, They are out of the whirlwind. So, the big square in the center of Santiago was beautiful. I could sit on a bench outside the big Catholic church and people watch for hours. The men were beautiful. The women were beautiful. The pigeons were even beautiful, sitting out there. Sammy was off on a date that day with a guy that was a school teacher there that he had met. Later, the same guy cooked us dinner at his condo one evening, and then we all went out. It was just so much fun down there. It was the only time I ever flew first class in my life. International first class? Now, y'all, that's the deal. Your seat lets out in a bed. They wait on you hand and foot. Man, 10-hour flight to Santiago went by real quick, especially after I take a Xanax right after we took off. The The 2 tickets were free to us.